It's been around 1.5 weeks since the balance patch came out inside of Lost Ark, so it's time to take a look at who are currently the strongest classes in the game, which classes literally totally sprung up, and which ones are a little bit down in the drain. Let's take a look at all of them. A little piece of advice before we get started is that meta can always shift, so if you really want to make the best current character, you can do that, but of course next patch it can get nerfed, and as well sometimes there can be a boss that is just not good for that class as well. If it does a lot of spinning, if it does a lot of teleporting, it can literally affect all the rankings. So, you know, let's get into it. So how are we gonna determine our top DPSs currently for this patch? And that's going to be simple. We're gonna be using uo.methy.mo, and it's gonna be our logging website, which we're gonna be able to use for some information. We're as well gonna filter the raids by hard mode, combat power maximum 2600, because this is, in my opinion, is like the ceiling for an average player that most people are gonna be able to reach, and above that, in my opinion, like the 3000, 3500 is just whale category. I'm sorry. We're gonna take a look at floor. We're gonna take a look at average, and we're going to take a look at ceiling. So the people that aren't that good at the game, they can choose maybe a floor class. The people who are not average at the game can use an average class, and the people that really want to pump the ceiling of a class can go for a ceiling character. So let's start off, guys, with two different gates we're going to take a look at, and that's going to be Mortem Gate 2 and Mortem Gate 3. So Mortem Gate 2 is the average raid. This boss moves a lot, it turns a lot, and this is like an average scenario. Mortem Gate 3 is a Trixion environment boss, which is like if the boss doesn't move, the boss has uptime on back attack permanently, front attack permanently. So this is gonna give, like, if you are a ultimate player and you would do everything perfectly, then of course this class is gonna pump the most. So of course take this with a grain of salt. First of all, we have ourselves Control Glaivier. On average is doing the best for a low performing player. So if you have a hard time playing this game, but you do love this game and you do want to go ahead and perform to the best of your capabilities, Control is on average doing the best. So Control Glaivier is taking number 1 spot. Then we have ourselves Enhanced Weapon Deadeye taking the 2nd spot. Shock Training Scrapper coming in and doing very well as well. Loyal Companion Sharpshooter coming in after that. EO Soulfist, Artenian Skill Machinist, Peacemaker Gunslinger, Wind Fury Aeromancer coming in as well. People love their Aeromancers. We have those Pistolier Deadeye, Mayhem Berserker, and then we're going to end it off with Phantom Beast Awakening. So if you are a not that great player this game, but you want to perform the best of your capabilities, these classes are currently your top 10/11. So, of course, this is going to be on a scenario where you can always, like, you have to chase the boss's butt, and the boss moves a lot. But what about if you would never have to do that? The boss is standing still, and you would always get a lot of stuff, which will be Mortem Gate 3. And then we can see that if you can always hit the boss, Communication Overflow actually is taking the number 1 spot for that floor, which is nice. You can see it's actually floor by quite a bit. So no matter what, if you're pretty bad at the game, you're going to do at least 136 million DPS on Mortem, which is kind of crazy because the next one is just going to go to 123 after that. So we have Communication Overflow Summoner, Loyal Companion Sharpshooter, Shock Training Scrapper, Phantom Beast Awakening Wild Soul, Deathblow Striker. Interesting, coming in at the floor. That's how busted this class, by the way, is. It's up here. Master Summoner, Death Strike Sharpshooter, Lunar Voice Reaper, Reflux Sork, and then we have Control Glaivier once again. So if we take a look at both of these gates right here, I would say that definitely good choice, in my opinion, is Control Glaivier. It took the number 1 spot before as a number 2, and it's like still a top 10 spot on the Mortem Permanent Uptime. So if you're an average player, you're gonna be loving Time to Hunt Gunslinger. It's doing absolutely very well. Taking the number 1 spot right now in Mortem Gate 2, which is the boss that moves a lot. We have Ferality again, still after their nerfs, still standing strong at number 2. Very, very, very nice. We have Robot Spirit, Shock Training Scrapper coming in once again. EO Soulfist taking the 5th spot as well. So both Soulfist specs are in here. And that's Weapon Deadeye, Lunar Voice Reaper coming in again. Again, this is a very hard spec, guys. If you don't want to learn a class, then do not pick Lunar, because Lunar has a pretty steep learning curve. We have Peacemaker Gunslinger, another Gunslinger spec in there. So both Gunslingers, both Soulfists are in the average. So they're kind of eating good, guys. And then Deathbow Striker once again creeping in the top list. So Deathbow Striker right now seems a very good pick for someone that's either maybe going to be, a floor DPS, a average DPS, and let's see if we're going to see him in the ceiling as well. And then we're going to round off the tier list with Mayhem Berserker. Alright, let's see if we go over to Gate 3. So this is always going to be hitting the boss, which character we have. And again, we see Deathbow Striker coming in. Of course, this thing is absolutely busted currently. I'm gonna be just spoiling this for you. Deathblow Striker currently is probably, in my opinion, the strongest class in the game. by far. This thing is so strong. You can bump on it like the ceiling, like you saw the floor is low, the ceiling is high, the average is good. This thing probably deserves a nerf, I'll be honest. We see both Deadblade's specs coming in, of course, because they love this boss. They love it. Lunar Voice, Grace of the Empress, Grave for detraining, EO for Soul Fist, Berserker Technique Berserker, Reflux, Sorceress, and Control Glavier. Again, doing very good. So Control Glavier taking the floor for Gate 2, taking the floor, like to floor again in Gate 3 as well. And then now Average, he's still showing up. So Control Glavier mains, guys. You're finally eating. It's been a while, but you're doing well right now, which is very cool. If you're an absolute pumper and you want to go for that ceiling, guys, you want to go for the best DPS possible, you want to have that high APM, you're an 18-year-old zoomer pressing those buttons, then these are the classes for you. So here we have the rates sorted by ceiling, and we're going to be able to see, of course, Lunar Voice at the top for Mortem Gate 2. Time to Hunt Gunslinger, still doing absolutely crazy good. Ferality dropping a spot to number 3. Grace the Empress, Robust Spirit, Gravity Training, Destroyer, Punisher, Slayer coming up as well. And we can see Death Blow Striker still making it into the top 10. Rage Hammer, EO, Soul Fist, and Berserker's Technique to round off the list for now. So you can see that some of these names we've heard quite a bit before. So if something is good at floor, average, and ceiling, they're just very good classes. So in my opinion, the ones that we hear often currently are going to be Lunar Voice, Time to Hunt, Robust Spirits, Grace of the Empress, and as well Death Blow are all the names you keep on hearing in all of these ones. So let's take a look at Gate 3. And number 1 is going to be the pump class of them all. Currently, if you're really good, and that's going to be on average Raining Deathblade. So Remaining Energy, of course, is taking the number 1 spot. After that, of course, Deplo is still doing great. So this is my opinion why Deplo is the most busted class currently. It is doing so good, guys. This is doing so good. Taking number 1 there is still amazing, guys. By far, look at that ceiling as well. It's crazy. Then we have Berserker's Technique creeping in, but Berserker's Technique loves this raid. But Berserker's Technique is just not that great on like average, but ceiling, you can see it's actually pretty decent for Gate 2. But if you go average Gate 2, it's all the way at the bottom. It's like here. So take that with a grain of salt, of course. But if we go back, of course, you see Berserker's Technique, Gravity Training doing very well as well. The front stackers love permanently hitting. Empress again coming in. Surge, Lunar, EO, Soul Fist, Art of the Emperor, Control. The overall classes that we see very often are going to be Deathblow Striker, Empress, Lunar Voice, EO, and surprisingly, Control Glavier. So all of these classes are actually doing very well currently. And I wouldn't have expected, to be honest, that Control would be this high, because normally Control is just not really a favorite of anyone. But that it's pumping that high on floor, median, and ceiling currently, in my opinion, is kind of crazy. Those are going to be the tier list for floor, median, and as well ceiling. In my opinion, the overall winners for all of this is number 1, Death Blow. Second one, I kind of have to put it there, is going to be Lunar Voice Reaper. Number 3, in my opinion, is just going to go to Empress Arcana. It's just such a versatile class. Then I think for number 4, we're going to go ahead and put in EO Soul Fist currently. It's doing very good as well. And then on the 5th spot, I didn't know I would ever say this, in my opinion, currently goes to Control Glavier. If you want a all-round character, good at floor, median, and ceiling, technically, in my opinion, those top 5 classes currently cover it currently inside the game, because they always just come back everywhere. No matter where you are, they are just kind of thriving. I think the only one that's not really thriving is the floor, because where's Empress even added on the floor in here? It's like right here. So maybe for floor, maybe put not Empress in the top 5, but I think like for average and for ceiling, it is just doing too good to not put it there. So yeah, that's very interesting to see. One little side section, of course, is going to be how about the DPS supports? How are they doing in this patch? Of course, with that big rework. DPS board is eating good, guys. You can see it's actually near the top inside of Mortem Gate 2. The other 2 supports are the last 2 specs. So they're not doing that great. Bardo is doing pretty well, which is nice to see. Let's take a look at Mortem Gate 3. Where do we see them then? Then we see Judgment, and Recurrence again at the bottom, and True Courage is near the bottom as well. But still, it's not doing bad. I'll be honest, it's actually doing pretty decent, and I love to see that my DPS supports are getting a little bit of love. Okay, and then we're gonna go for the absolute maximum, guys, and this is gonna be just a separate section in my opinion in the video, and that's gonna go for the ultimate whales. If you plan on just wailing your booty off, I'm just gonna put it at, I would say 3,800. I think if you go into like the 4,000 category, that's like Astra weapons and stuff. I think like for the average people, like 3,800, this is like maxing out anyway. So we're gonna go to ceiling as well. And then we're going to see quickly, of course, what the best classes are. So if you are planning on Giga Whaling, okay, let's put it at 4,000. Planning on Giga Whaling inside of this game, spending a lot of money, these are your best classes. So if a boss loves to move, currently Lunar Voice and Punisher, Time to Hunt, EO Soulfist, Rage Hammer, Ferality, Grace the Empress, Aztec, Flurry, Striker, okay, Robo Spirit, and the Berserk Technique are doing the best in Mortem Gate 2. So if you're investing a lot, these are doing the best on the ceiling, guys. This is ceiling, not average, ceiling wise. And then if we look at Gate 3 Mortem, it is going to be Surge, Deathblow, Remaining Energy, Lunar Voice, Berserk Technique, Grace the Empress, Energy Overflow, Gravity Training, Control again still, and Order of the Emperor coming in as well. So there we have it, guys. Do you agree with my top 5 characters or not? What do you guys think about the meta currently? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Which class deserves a nerf and which one deserves a buff? So that's gonna wrap it up for me. If you guys did enjoy this video, would highly appreciate a like down below, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon for another video. Take care.